Okay, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's still tea time on PlusTvAfrica, and my name is still Prezi. Omar is also here, and our guest, which we have actually been anticipating for a while now. In fact, I dreamt about this interview, just so you know. But this person in question, his name is actually, Senator, but I mean, he's not the senator maybe in the House of Senate or any of that, stuff. He is actually a senator when it comes to, entertainment business, when it comes to being a prolific person, skillful at what he does. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome no other person but the foremost, the one and only senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in the comedy industry. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome Senator!
That introduction.
Oh my goodness.
If you're not careful, you just melt.
We are super excited to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So, I mean, we look forward to this interview, and we have you here already present. Yeah. And I see you are all glowing, all looking, all. I would like to know what actually inspired this your dress code, first of all.
Oh, I just wanted to. I dress how I feel. Yeah, I wanted to be smart, but I wanted the second gaze at whatever I was wearing.
Interesting.
From anybody who was passing by.
Interesting. And I like the beat, the whole beat.
For the beat, I'm a chief, so that's I'm entitled.
Interesting. All right, so I'm sure our audience will be wondering, why the name Senator? Because, I mean, most people will probably use one funny name, or maybe even use their own personal name, right? But you decided to use that name, Senator. Why, basically?
Well, I think it's like the 500th time, if there's anything like that. I'm getting this question. But I say it over and over again because it's just a simple idea. So I delved into the stand-up business at that period when we had that refreshing democracy, the one that the military handed over to us. So at that time, senators were seen with some level of glam. They were highly revered. So at that time, I felt, okay, so if they are representing laws and all that we do in the government, for me, I could represent what humor is all about. I could tell what should be legal humor and what is not. So I just decided to pick the name Senator, representing humor.
I like that. So you are a representative in your own space and field. Interesting. I love that, actually. Now, comedy is something that has given Nigerians so much joy, and like you also mentioned, stand-up comedy. I remember while growing up, stand-up comedy used to be something we look forward to, right? I don't want to mention names, but I know they were like popular stand-up comedies we had. Now, what would you say have been like the journey thus far for you? Being a foremost comedian, because I know there are still comedians who are coming up, but you are somebody who you've done the job. You've seen what it's like, and I mean, look at where you are today. So, what has the journey been, so far for you?
Well, every creative journey is not without intrigues. It's not without what in the general parlance we say challenges. Yeah, so it's not anything different from others. We have situations where government policies affect creative spaces. So it's not been anything different. Today, dollar is that, tomorrow is another thing. You get what I'm saying? So it has a way of putting tension in every space, including the creative space. So you also have where people now want to cut corners to get to the best. But in getting to the best, you don't cut corners. You must follow, So we have challenges too, where you see companies barely wanting to sponsor or support creative spaces until they're established. Then they now want to work with that. But you don't give up because, if it is driven by passion, if it is driven by innate talent, you will always be in the business, whether or not.
Interesting. I like that. I think Omar would like to actually say something. She has been looking at you and staring, so.
Well, I just wanted to know, you've been in this industry for a while.
Yeah.
In this big comedy business.
21, I think. 21 or 22.
Wow, that's a very long time.
Yeah.
Now, for those that are upcoming, those that look up to you, what is that one lesson you've learned that the industry taught you that you like, nobody will prepare you for this. You come in and you learn it. But here is me telling you ahead of time.
Yeah. So the thing there is, and I say to them anytime I get in contact with them, you know, I say to them, you must understand the focal point. Right?
Yeah.
Those that are consuming your work are the focal point. It's not you. Talent is not enough. You could think that, I'm the talented one, let me get her now. Now maybe so. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the people consuming your product are the focal point. They either guide you properly, or they either tell you what is expected of your art. You understand? So you must learn how to, first and foremost, respect your audience. Secondly, know how you negotiate relationship with the consumers of your product. It is very, very important. It either determines how long you're going to be in the business or how short you're going to be in the business. Do you understand what I'm saying? But a lot of us take it for granted. They just don't feel like, you know. So I learned that under the tutorship of and the mentorship of people like OK Bakassi, RMD, DJ Jimmy Jad, you know, my late friend Sound Salter. So I learned certain things. OK Bakassi was away for like 4 to 5 years as an SA in one of the eastern states. RMD was away for close to 8 years.
Yeah,
was a commissioner in Delta State. Right? They left the scene for 4 to 5 years. They left the scene for close to 8 years. And got back to the scene and still connected back. And made it look like they never left. So I started asking myself, how come these guys did this? Because some people just live for 2 months. They're going to ask where they are. Some people might even just travel to go and study, like a small study leave.
And from there,
nobody hears about them.
Very true.
Right?
Yeah.
So I started, you know, sneaking in to discover. And I discovered that these people, first and foremost, understand what relationship is. Work business relationship is very important. Don't forget that the ladder you kept to that top, somebody could kick it out. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So as you're heading and you're seeing people coming down from the ladder, you keep a good relationship with them. So that when you need to come down to, there'll be a ladder for you to come down. You know, so a whole lot of them don't get it. So for the younger ones, I say to them, you must manage your relationships well. It's very important. If you don't know how to work on those dynamics, trust me, there'll be a cut somewhere, there'll be a bridge somewhere. There'll be a bridge, and that will affect you.
Interesting.
So we all know you as a comedian, but I believe most people, or some people, do not know that there is this actor part of you.
Oh yeah.
And we know you in the popular Flatmates series.
Sitcom,
Yes. No, about that, personally, I know you have seen it. Like I know your character in this series. But what's that one thing people get wrong about you outside that?
Yeah. So I remember when some people saw me acting a movie, they were like, you did act?
Wow.
It was very funny to me, actually. But I don't blame them, actually. I studied theatre and performing arts from the University of Jos. I made an upper credit.
Wow.
Yeah, I had an opportunity to be a lecturer. But I had to say to them, let me go for the wider waters. Let me see how deep I can swim. And that's what I'm doing here today. You know, I hope to go back to the classrooms maybe when I'm above 50. You know, the funny thing is, first and foremost, that's my training. You know, in the theater, being an actor is the least of what you can do. Right? You know, but I majored in directing and choreography. You understand? Won best actor in the department a couple of times. You know, so it's nothing new to me. And that was what brought me to Lagos from Jos. Right? When I'm getting here at that time, Nollywood was not anything that could feed you. Right? It couldn't feed you. I must say. One of the movies I went to act that time, First Act. I was done with it, and they said to me, okay, we'll go see again. I said, see which again?
Oh my goodness.
I want to live here. Even Okada money.
Oh my God.
You know, so eventually, I happened to be that my friend was the assistant director, the AD on the production. So she just squeezed 4,000 and I gave to me. She said, come up before director knows I pay you. And I left. So I started asking myself on that Okada when I was heading back. I said, how many 4,000?
Will I collect?
Will I collect to get to where I'm going to? Do you understand? But then at that time, stand-up comedy was still, like a fancy, and then, so merging it with comparing, being an MC and a stand-up comedian was now the new vogue. So I stepped into that art, and when we became known in that art, I decided to come back to what I was actually trained for, which is the acting thing. And that's when people see you acting, they're like, hey, somebody acting. And I'm like,
But Senator, I'd like to ask this question. I mean, we've heard series of people who say they relocated.
Yeah.
And lives have been changed through that relocation, right?
Yeah.
Do you also believe that Lagos is somewhere where if you have to be a creative, if you have to be somebody who wants to be in the entertainment industry, you have to be here?
You mustn't be here. But if you have an opportunity to be here and you have the connects to get your business attention, fine. Lagos is a wonderful space, right? I always say to people, let's not belabor the fact that Lagos was one time the capital. If you're mentioning states, the states and cities that are formidable, for you to practice business, by the time you mention Lagos, you must mention Abuja, which is the second capital.
Yeah.
They must mention places like Port Harcourt. So you can't really take it away that this structure didn't start today. Lagos was set up a long time ago for development. You understand? So anybody who comes and is a dynamic leader, any small format where you play like this, everywhere does set. And that's what has happened so far. So Lagos has been very lucky to have great governors over the years, and so they made that whole structure more visible. You understand? Yeah. Which is what other cities and other states lack. If they can do that, you can practice art anywhere.
Yeah.
A lot of things that happen now within the social space. I'm sure you can be stuck to this thing and you'll be laughing throughout today if you go to social media. Do you get what I'm saying? So a lot happens in the social media space. So what we pray for most times for others in the cities is have constructive leaders who can get that space to where people can watch out for it. There was a time in Calabar, whites used to come for the carnival.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So it can happen anywhere. But here, because it's already formidable and it's more like our takeoff point. Yeah. If you come here, it works easier for you if you know what you're doing actually. Because some people don't call Lagos to the no maker.
True. And they relocate back to
just like some people in Japan some of them came by December.
I'm glad you talked about this Japan thing, and I'm coming to that actually. I'm coming to that. But I want to ask a question. Now you mentioned something about how people can get stuck watching
yes.
social media and all of that. Yeah. Now we have a lot of content creators now.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've heard, but most times people confuse being a content creator as being somebody who is funny because people laugh about what you do, right? Yeah. Now, I would like to ask this question. Do you feel like because we have a lot of content creators now who are now liking to being, they are even now called comedians because, they make people laugh, right? Yeah. Do you think it has something to do with the declining nature of, what comedy used to be for you, being one of the pioneers of comedy in Nigeria? Do you think it has anything to do with the declining state of comedy?
Because let me first and foremost commend you for identifying that it is not because you create content that you're funny.
Right.
Yeah?
Right.
Content is like ingredients you're putting together for an attention. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. I've seen a content before. A guy visits only mortuaries. I've seen that before. That's not a funny thing. But that is a knowledgeable thing. People learn from that whole space. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. So I just wanted to some people don't know that difference actually. Now for the guys in the creative space, the ones that do the content in on social media space, I give them a lot of kudos because a whole lot of them, if they had not veered into this particular art, maybe crime would have just been on a higher level.
Very true. Because
they've employed a lot of people. There are cameramen now, sound men, Yes, might not be for a television house, but, at those pockets, transaction is going on, business is going on. Do you understand what I'm saying? And then we also thank God for the whole, the payment process that comes now. People get to stream, people get to watch and make money and all that. So a lot of people are now independent. We don't really have to wait for the government to get to do stuff for us. Now, back to how this whole thing evolved. A lot of them created their own identities from picking up jokes cracked by stand-up comedians. So whatever you do, the lifeline comes from this way. a lot of them used our jokes to create, shoot skits. You understand? They can't even take away that fact, you know. So at the beginning, that was what was happening. Even up to now, some people still do it. You know, so I don't think both arts have, they are so independent that they can never work together. They are symbiotic. They have that relationship. But the thing there now is, in trying to push this particular form of art, you must also understand what you're contributing to the system.
Yeah.
A lot now is now so on trivialities. Bomb, 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 you're shooting. Once it's about the woman with a big shape like this, the video goes to 1 million views. For me, you know, really, you must make your contribution. Because I asked sometimes, I said, so as an artist, what is your contribution? What is your commitment to the society? If everything you do is about that, the problem we have, is it about that? If I go to the filling station, the attendant will not tell me, Oga, you don't bring any big bomb, come make I give you fuel. That's not our issue.
Right.
So we need to treat our issues rightly. I've not said don't try to. If that's your own form of art, fine. You know, I was speaking to Nasboy yesterday in Abuja. We were together, you know, for Sheila's show. And I said to him, do you know why I like you in Sydney? You understand? And Crazy Clown, he said, why, boss? I said, because they think deeper than the surface. And that is it for me. I don't have anything against anybody, but if you see a creative piece, you will understand. You will laugh at it, you know, regardless. You know, but if that becomes your focal point, that it has to be bum, 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 bum every time, things that don't add up to where we are at the moment, you're not contributing so well to the society.
It's just more like your own personal gain from it.
You understand? Because you see, back in school, I was taught that there's something called art for art's sake and art for functionality's sake. What's your functionality to the environment that you're in? Because Africa is so soaked into backwardness, and we need to start pacing up our movements in terms of development. So what is your own space as, you know, a contributor of content? Because whether you like it or not, they're very influential. That's why you see the followings. You see them in millions. So you begin to ask yourself, if I say to 2, 3, 4, 5 million people that Bum Bum is the essence of life and that is what we should be paying attention at, imagine if 1 million of those people are convinced by that art piece. It's danger for us. Do you get what I'm saying? We have a lot of people who, you see Mr. Macaroni, you see how, you know, impactful he was during the elections and all that. Those are the kind of things I'm saying we should get involved in. Let's have some positive discussions through our art piece. Once in a while, if you want to do what you want to do, fine. It's okay. But then what do we drop at the end of the day? Because you see, we're in an age where questions are being asked. You understand? During our own age now, most of that time, they will say, now so they do them. And we can't say much. But the Gen Z have come to question the status quo. Do you understand? So let's also aid that whole process so we can get to it better.
Okay, I mean, we are winding down to the end of the interview. So I hope you have something to say though.
Sure, it's just a little game, something to ease up because we just had a deep conversation. I'm sure if the viewers out there, you guys should feel the heat, like there's
and the knowledge as well.
The knowledge, like it's good to have people with so much impact like this with you. It means a lot. Just something small to just ease off the tension. It's just a game. So in the industry, if you are to marry, hug, and kiss somebody, like different people, you're not to choose one person. Like,
is it the females?
Females, yeah.
Okay. Because the word don't change. Give me females.
So just the females. Who will you kiss, hug, and marry?
Okay, so let me see if I can remember the sequence. But let me see how it goes. Definitely, everybody knows that Kate Henshaw is my crush. I've always loved her from small. So I think I will marry Kate Henshaw. That's at the end this side.
Yes.
Then Kehinde Bankole.
Oh my God! So you have a good taste. I can see that.
Because I'm saying it outrightly. Kiss.
Okay,
Yes. It's two. Yes.
Then hug.
Put them.
Okay.
Then
You hug.
she's old now, but say Mama I like Patience Ozokwa.
Wow. Love that. All right. We have to go right now because of time, but I do hope, I have a lot of questions to ask him, but due to time constraints, we'll be able to do that. But I'm sure you actually learned one or two, and you also heard some of the things he had to say. Thank you once again, Senator, for being here on Tea Time. We really appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
We actually still look forward to your comment, and remember, you can do that via our YouTube platform, PlusTvAfrica Lifestyle. My name remains Prezi, and Omar also is here with me saying, have a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday. We'll be seeing you again tomorrow when we come around. Do stay safe.